Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. With that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsors. Organic herbs and botanicals, skincare and edibles, wellness for body and mind. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. Ronald Records. From indie gems to classic hits, discover the heart of local music. With live shows all the time, up close and personal, and regular releases on their in-house label. Ronald Records. Supporting the community, one track at a time. All right, thank you all so much for watching. Again, shout out The Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
Hi, everyone. I'm Johanna.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about, who you are, where you're from, what you do. Give us that, Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
Oh, God, PTSD. Well, like I said, I'm Johanna. So I do a whole bunch of music photography, and I'm based out of Portland, Oregon. Man, I really just got into it. I mean, I've been into photography since my MySpace days, and it would have full-on photo shoots, just for MySpace.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There was something special about getting photos on there too. It was so much different than Facebook or Instagram or any of that. Yeah.
Literally had to hook up the camera to the computer. I was on my mom's desktop.
Yeah, you felt like you were just hacking the internet for some reason. It was all very above board, but you were like, no, I'm coding.
Yes.
Fine.
Oh man, the coding.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, anyways, thank you, MySpace. That's how I got my start.
Hey, I mean, Tom was a friend to all of us. So that's all I'm saying. Tom, if you're watching, I'm sure he does.
Our best
Thank
friend.
You. Yes.
Yeah, thanks, Tom.
I'm sorry, back to you.
Yeah, anyways, that's how, I got my first camera when I was 13. But it wasn't really until, I would say, college when I really got into the music side of photography. So I grew up in Portland, out in Beaverton. So I know, not technically Portland.
I mean, it still counts.
The suburbs.
Yeah.
It's fine. But when I was college age, I moved to Texas. I lived in Austin. And as I hope everyone knows, Austin is the music place, or at least was. I still definitely is in my eyes.
It's definitely, at the moment, it's it's big for music, it's big for comedy, it's big for movies. It's a very big creator space.
Yeah, exactly. So super fun being out there. I loved Austin. That is what really plugged me into, I think, the music industry. If you live out there, you know just about everyone.
Yep.
You have friends that are in the music industry or are musicians at one capacity or another. So that's where I got my start, as I just started doing stuff for my friends. And then I've always been into the music scene, or at least interested in it.
Do you play any music yourself?
Oh God, no. Well, okay, to be fair, I did take guitar lessons once.
Exciting.
Yeah, so I know the basics, but I haven't touched a guitar in probably a decade.
Fair enough.
I always have the intentions to get back into it, but that's definitely not where I excelled.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. Also, it's so time consuming in its early stages.
Yes.
If you're doing something full on already, let alone 2 or 3 things full on already, it's just hard to be able to offer it the right amount of time. So I get that.
Yeah. I would love to pick it up as a hobby, just to I love working my brain in different ways that I don't usually work it. So I would love to do that and get back into it. But no, I do not play. I enjoy, I consume.
Yeah. Well, you also you help tell a story of music in still form for other people, which is it takes a certain person to even be able to do that.
Right.
So it's still very much an art in its own way.
Yes.
Now, before we get into more of what you do in the present day, I do have a couple foundation questions I like to check in with everybody on.
Yeah.
This first one's one we ask early, it's one we ask often, and it's definitely a crowd favorite. what was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
With my own money? This is, it's actually, I'm not embarrassed. It is actually kind of badass, I think. ABBA.
Okay.
I can't tell you which album. But
That's all right. You don't need to name one. They're all good.
They're all good.
They're all good.
You know, it was my own money. Did I know what I was getting into? No. But still kind of proud to say.
I think that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
There's something really magical that first time because up until a certain point, you only have understanding of like the albums in your household.
Yes, exactly.
That, like have been like, you know, and even half the time, those are the ones that your parents like got and then liked.
Yeah.
So they added to like the CD tower. So like when you first get your own, you're like, whoa. I never even knew music could be done. Like,
yes, exactly.
I bought what I thought was a Steve Vai album. Mm-hmm. It was just every snippet of music that he's done in TV.
Oh, unique.
Yeah, and I listened through it and I was like, I'm gonna go watch some of these movies now. This is cool as hell. So you never know.
Worked out.
Yeah, but we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you. Getting back to it. What was the first live show you ever went to that was like specifically one you wanted to go to?
Yeah. Well, that I specifically wanted to go to. Was
it also ABBA?
It was not ABBA. My first concert ever, I will say, was Styx.
Okay.
That was back in like 2000. I think my dad took whatever. That was not the first one I wanted to go to. I think that was Panic at the Disco, A Fever You Can't Sweat Out.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Man, that would have been the time to see them too.
I cried. Yeah.
I bet. I saw them when they were doing the Honda Civic tour for their Pretty Odd album.
Yep.
When they were touring with Motion City Soundtrack and the Black Keys.
Yes. Oh. I don't remember. I know I saw them with Motion City Soundtrack.
They may not have played with the Black Keys up here. That may have been like a stretch of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I know I did see Motion City Soundtrack, which like, thank God I saw them. Well, I still could.
Well, they're back together, I think.
Are they?
Yeah, they just played here last year at like the end of it. Oh, but I don't know. it wouldn't be the same.
I know.
I'm so glad I got to see them during that. Because that was during their like, was it the Dinosaur World? Or I forget if that's the name of the album. But I think it was during that album. So they were still like, they were firing on all cylinders for sure.
Oh, that was a great show though.
Yeah, very much so.
They were
very
great.
Much so. And then before we officially get into, actually, I'm sorry. I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
What did the first like real shoot look like for you? Like that you would describe as like, this was the first like actual one.
Well, I don't necessarily know like what are we classifying as the first? Because I did a lot of stuff for friends.
Yeah. So I guess I'll leave it up to you to decide what would you define as the first real one.
I'll say the ones that I did for my friends. I'm not going to discount that or discredit that. That was a very real thing. But it was a very makeshift DIY sort of wherein we got a whole bunch of props for it was like album promo stuff. And I was just shooting on like a 50 millimeter. Like I was doing the best with what I had. And we used some really cool lighting, and it was like kind of a like Mad Hatter Tea Party themed. It was really cool, and really fun for being, the first one. But outside of that, I think up here after I had moved from Austin and I came back here, I shot the Maine at Crystal Ballroom.
Whoa.
And that was I think that was my first kind of big touring act show. And, the photos were not my best work, but it got me started back up here. So it got me plugged in back up here. And that was special for me because I loved the Maine back in the day.
Hell yeah.
Great.
I also appreciate that you can be like, it wasn't that great. And you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it has to not be.
Yes.
Sometimes there has to be that like look at it to go, okay, what about it wasn't?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people sometimes miss the opportunity to try and figure out what didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, so much of my photography, because I didn't don't have a degree. I don't have a fine arts degree. This was something that I just trial and error, like I've learned. And that was a show that I learned a lot. Because if you've ever worked with low lighting and LED lights, like if you're not shooting at, around, the frequency of the lights, you get the banding. And at first I thought, oh, wow, that's a cool effect. And then my friend was like, oh, you have some banding here. And I'm like, oh, yeah, totally. Shoot. How do you not do that?
Yeah.
But just a learning thing. So you live and learn.
Very much so.
Yeah. In the next show, I did not have banding on my photos.
There you go. Yeah. I do a long format filming for one of my best friends for his YouTube series. And we learned about that through when we had to time lapse 5.5 hours of video into like 4 minutes. Ugh. And yeah, it's, you can't know something's a problem until it becomes a problem. And then you figure out that everybody's already had the problem.
Yep.
And then when you were first getting started, so other than like obviously the camera, the primary source here, what was like one other thing you had with you that like was just everywhere? Like you were like, oh, these two things together make the most sense.
Like equipment wise?
Yeah, just like early on. Like obviously now you know more things, but like in the beginning.
Honestly, I don't even think it was a couple things. I just think it was my one thing, which was my 50 millimeter camera lens that I got for $150. Like,
do you remember who made it?
No.
Okay.
No, it's just been like, I still have it. I still use it sometimes to this day, especially if I'm shooting in a dark venue that my, 24-70 lens can't capture that well. It's just my 50 millimeter, the go-to. And someone once told me, because I was like, when I was shopping around for lenses and I'm like, oh, I need something that's better, right? Just trying to upgrade. And someone told me, you can switch cameras, you can get other lenses. He was like, but the best camera that you're going to have is the one that you know. And like, sure enough, like, I mean, I've shot some of my best shots on that cheap little 50 millimeter. Yep. So
yeah, once you learn like it's like abilities, but then also like how there's little nuance things that you can't learn from like a how-to video. Like if you're like, if you swing it just a certain way before you do it, it does a thing. Or if you like, if you like hold it a certain amount, like just, there's so many little nuances, even in like the like camera specific that you have. Yeah. It may have a little thing that like the rest of them don't have.
Exactly.
But you're just like, well, this is what makes mine unique and I know it.
And just the fact that like, you know it so well that you barely have to even look at your settings. You're just like, it's, my aperture needs to be this, like my shutter speed needs to be this, and I'm going to get a good shot. And you don't even have to like second guess yourself. Yeah. That takes like, especially in a concert, you need to be able to just know your settings and, change them rapidly because the lighting changes, in the blink of an eye. So the better you know your camera, the better you know your equipment, easier it's going to be. You're going to get that shot and it's going to be good.
Yeah, very much so. Now, before we officially get into the now, do you have a defining moment where you decided you wanted to take photography more seriously?
I think it was just a culmination of a bunch of little experiences, like specifically, getting into the scene when I was in Austin. It's you're going out and it's the experience that you have when you're at a show and you're like, damn, I want to capture this. Like I want, like that was so cool. I want to, capture it and have that moment forever. And then also just seeing other people who are doing it and you're like, that is so fun. You go there for the experience and to just like do that for a living, to have that experience over and over. And not every concert is going to be as profound as some, but it's still just like capturing that energy. I think it's just, that was kind of all of my defining moments had to be when I was a concert goer and wanted to like capture that.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Now let's go ahead and we're going to get on into the present day, but we are going to go ahead and knock out an easy one. Okay. As I imagine it is. How did you pick your like business name, your photographer name?
Well, that is easy because my name is Johanna. And so that's just what I go by. I don't have a business per se. I am just me, and that's it.
Gotcha. And I guess why did you decide to just like never like introduce like a production name?
Yeah.
You know, like I'm just always curious about why people go any route with their name.
Yeah, honestly, probably a lack of creativity on my end.
Fair.
No, I've always been kind of envious, lightheartedly when people have like a cool Instagram handle, and I'm just like, mine is just my name, and it's like, they're known as their Instagram handle. I think that's really cool and fun. But it just never happened for me. And that is not to say it won't ever happen. I also just want to be known for my work. Like if someone sees my photo and it's tagged to me, it's like, oh, that's Johanna's photo.
Yeah.
Instead of having to like do a whole bunch of digging. I don't separate like my professional work from my personal work. So on my Instagram, you'll see my personal life and my photography. So it's too much work for me to separate it. And since my photography is so much of like who I am, let's just throw it all together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I dig that. See, I don't put any of my personal life on the Jimmy Shambox profile or Instagram, but that's just because I forget.
Yeah.
Like 99, like every single time I've gone to like a music thing or a comedy show or anything, I'm like, this would probably be cool content. Is that what the kids do? But then by the time I'm done, I'm like, I didn't pick up my phone once.
Yep. Live in the moment.
Oops. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Now let's go ahead. Let's knock out some technical questions. Okay. Give us just a quick like current rig rundowns, like primary camera, what you use to edit, what other like big thing or two you have involved. Because I imagine photography is probably not 1,000 things in real time like videography can be. But yeah, like just give us kind of like the general primary piece.
Yeah. I feel like I don't like to complicate it too much. I keep it fairly simple. But I have a Canon 6D Mark II. It's an older make, but again, kind of why
if it's not broken, I mean, good pictures have been shot forever.
Yeah, exactly. I am planning on upgrading soon. I just have to do some like messing around on other things. I mainly shoot on a 24-70 for concerts.
That is the like
pretty the standard.
Can you which brand is it?
Mine's just a Canon.
Okay.
Canon everything right now.
Gotcha.
And like I said, I still utilize that 50 millimeter because it's just that 1.8. Like I can't. It's so good.
Because I just got a new camera. Y'all won't see it for a while. I'm sorry, but I just got a new camera, and I am going to be exclusively using it for low light because I do it for showcases.
Exactly.
So I got a 56 millimeter 1.4, and then I also got an 18 to 55 2.8.
Nice.
Yeah, I figured
that's
that,
exciting.
That is just if I need that little bit extra, I can go to the prime. It's great for the gimbal too.
Yes.
Sigma makes really small light lenses.
Yeah.
So I can keep that rocking there, and if it's something where I need to put it further away, I can dial it in perfect. I figure that touches everything.
I'm excited for you. Yeah. Those are some good. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
I'm trying to stay away from the 24 to 70 just for now.
Yeah.
Because it's like everybody says that is like the one to do. I'm like, all right, let me figure out where the limitations really are before I commit to it.
Absolutely. It is a good one. I mean, it's good for just about everything. Yeah. Like any portrait sessions that I'm doing, any band promo material that I'm shooting, it's more than likely my 24-70. It's just so versatile. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then what are you editing on? Yeah.
So I use Lightroom mainly. Okay. I honestly very rarely dabble in Photoshop because I don't do a huge I don't like to over process things.
Well, Photoshop also isn't that a lot of like adding in things, taking heavily changing and altering the image.
Exactly.
Whereas, like Lightroom is just more of messing with what it would be if it was almost the camera.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just more, user friendly. I have used Photoshop to do some just like creative. Yeah, like kind of more altering the image. But most of the time I'm trying really hard to get like a really quick turnaround time for photos, like sometimes the next day. Which I mean, that's just like my standard. I get so excited to like edit, and I'm like, oh, let me just like, I just want them to see, you know?
There's something about like editing very shortly after an experience too, where it's like
exactly
that you can almost edit the energy into it differently. Where instead if you're like, okay, I did this a month ago, I think it was a Tuesday. Yeah.
And sometimes when I'm just like trying to practice and sharpen my skills or look up, you know, some new effect, I'll take old photos, old RAWs that I have, and I'll re-edit them and do like mess around with them in Photoshop. And sometimes I'll even post it again if it turns out like, you know, this is a cool edit that I did. But yeah, most of the time it's just Lightroom. And yeah, that is it. You know, at concerts, I don't even use a flash most of the time. I do have a film camera that I'm trying to bring out to more shows. That's new. I'm literally like, I just shot a show at Holocene last week, and I took some black and white film photos, and I just dropped that roll off this morning. So I'm hoping they come out. It was like my first time shooting a show with film, so it's kind of an experience.
Yeah, and you don't know what happens until after.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
There was like one. I'm trying to remember who the show was. There was a show I went to once. It wasn't a super big show. So like the artists weren't super well known. It was kind of a more intimate one, but they gave everybody disposable cameras.
Cool.
And they were just like, shoot the show.
Yeah.
And we're going to try and pick a couple from every camera.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So like they put little like, hello, my name is on each one so they could like credit who did it.
So cool.
And I just thought it was really interesting. Now, obviously they still had people actually shoot, but that's such an interesting perspective. Yeah.
100%. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Also expensive, but
like I said, there were probably not more than like 40 people there. Okay. It was not a big show.
Cool.
But like it was just for the experience of it. So I thought that was fun.
I love that.
Now I know you primarily stick to, you know, like concert photography. But do you do any other photography as well in addition primarily?
I do all sorts really. It's mostly just a hobby, but I mean, I'll do portraits. I used to do weddings. I used to do full-on weddings and, you know, family portraits and whatnot. And I kind of quickly realized that wasn't where my heart was.
Yeah.
I love weddings. Weddings are so fun, but it just wasn't worth the money.
It's different when you have to work for a wedding, not attend a wedding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Invite me to your wedding. Just don't ask me to shoot it.
Yeah.
No, I love it. And you know, I think the theme in my photography is I love capturing moments. And so when I did shoot weddings, you know, it was super meaningful because I was capturing this really special moment or moments. And even with, you know, family sessions that I have done, it's all very touching, and I love that. But I felt like I wasn't really being true to myself. Like I didn't feel like I could be myself. And that's why I don't advertise that very often, but I still do all of that if it's for a friend or, you know, connections that way, but I don't seek it out. If it's cool,
That is a big theme of anything done on this show.
Yeah.
The very first measurement is it cool or not? Because if it's no, it's just not going to get done.
100%. Yeah, exactly.
I dig that.
Yeah.
As far as like just the world of photography goes, like, because, you know, like you said, you started doing it on your own. You never really like went to any like big schooling or anything for it. So breaking into like the business side of things, what was that like? When did you like finally like feel comfortable with the whole like I'll do it, but it's just that's a weird one for people.
Yeah, it's super uncomfortable talking about money.
Yeah,
and I wish that it wasn't, and I think that just means we need to talk about it more. So I don't find it super uncomfortable to talk about anymore, but it's hard when you are first getting started. And I think at the end of the day, it's about confidence So if you are confident in your work and confident in yourself, then you should be charging for it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're putting in labor and you're putting in work, and you should just be proud of your art, and it's okay to charge for it. Now, with that said, it's easier said than done.
Yes.
Because I worked for free for a long time, but that's because I wasn't confident in my skill set. I didn't want to charge someone and have it turn out horrible. Like, I would feel so guilty. But at the end of the day, so many people do charge, even though it turns out not good. So it's just whatever you're comfortable with. But I think at the end of the day, just be confident and charge what you're worth.
Yes. Now, as an entrepreneur and as a human being, how do you find the balance, like just, between the two things, to like be a regular person and, do your, your hobby, your craft as a job, as something that makes money?
I think I'm really fortunate because a lot of my 9 to 5 is photography. I'd say about 50% of what I do for my 9 to 5 is photography. And it's also in the industry that I am just really passionate about. So it sucks to say, but like when you love what you do, whatever that saying is.
You don't work a day in your life.
Yeah. I just think you just have to have boundaries. There are some times where I am overwhelmed with the amount of work that I have to do. And, it could be editing photos, it could be going to events and shooting, whatever it is. So you have to know how to take care of yourself. And if you're getting to that point, you need to say no to some things, or prioritize, right? Like, I have passion projects. So that is kind of when I'm feeling a little burnt out, like at least I have that passion project to look forward to. And again, it's easier said than done to draw those boundaries, but it's just unfortunately like what the experts say is true. Yeah. Boundaries are important.
Yeah. And especially like you said, when you're mixing what you love to do with like what you do to like feed yourself and like do other things, like you can kind of get caught up in the fun of it, but also once it starts to hurt, you're like, oh man, this is not supposed to. And if you don't catch it quick, it definitely can burn you out.
Yeah. The last thing I want to do is dread what I'm passionate about. So if I have to say no to things, then I have to say no to things, unfortunately. Or just like using my time wisely. Like, okay, I just shot, 3 different events or whatever it is. Now I need to sit down and edit and get them off of my SD card. I have a thing where I just love to have a clean SD card. So as long as I can get them off the card, edit them, send them out, then I can delete them all, and it just feels good.
I'm glad somebody else
you
said
too?
Because anytime I have to go shoot something, so like for the showcases or when I did the YouTube series, I always have to make sure that everything is off of it.
Yes.
So like I have a backup drive and then my working. So like I have like 2 separate things that they end up on after.
Right.
But like I got to get them off. The only thing that's weird for me is that I can't move them until like the night before so like I have to know when I show up at the thing. I'm like, all right, this is empty intentionally. I remember I moved it all, cleared it last night.
Yep.
So I fully understand.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's like one of those like dopamine things that I get, being able to just erase all.
Well, that not having to have 800 SD cards.
Yeah.
I think I have like 4 drives total for the show. 2 that I record onto, 2 that I edit off of and like back up to and stuff like that. Like there's those. But yeah, I can't. I see people who have like stacks of them. I'm just like, why?
I have 2. I literally only have 2 SD cards, and one is like the backup that if one gets broken somehow. So I don't even use that one. I use one for like all of my things. And I think that's how, going back to kind of your question, that's how I use my time wisely. I try to set boundaries. I do things, accordingly so that I can stay organized and keep myself on track so that I don't end up overwhelmed and burnt out.
Oh yeah, a good organized like process in the in-betweens is a game changer when it comes to staying on top of stuff.
100%.
And now, do you do photography in your regular life? Like when you're just out and about, do you just have a camera on you at all times?
Pretty much. I will say, if I'm, at least right now, I'm in this phase of life where for my hobby, my personal life, the camera that I'm bringing around all the time is film. It's just a different medium that I know virtually nothing about, to be honest. And so it's just fun. Like that's, I guess, how I'm keeping it fun is I'm doing photography. I'm still practicing those same skills, but it's a different format. So it's just something I look forward to keep it fresh, you know? And again, not an expert when it comes to film. That is not my strong suit.
Understandable.
But I have a lot of friends who are into film. My roommate is really big into film, and you know, he has all the equipment and stuff, and he's really good. And I just it's just so fun. It's like inspiration, you know?
It's also where a lot of this comes from, you know what I mean? So even though we do like a lot of mirrorless and digital and all of that, the rules are still designed to act like what film was.
Right.
So it's not like we're doing everything drastically different. It's just how it reacts is different. But by knowing that, you kind of get to understand better what everything does now.
Yeah. 100%. And I love, you know, taking more time to craft a shot instead of like with my DSLR where I'm just like snap. Yeah,
you're just like, how fast can the shutter close?
Exactly. Yeah. But you know, film, it's higher stakes. So just really taking your time to craft that single shot. It's fun. It's just a different type of skill.
Yeah, very much so. And now I went onto the internet, I checked out some of your work, jumped on your website, and I gotta say, I really like your pictures. I love your use of color. I love the way you make it pop. I'm like, it's really inspiring and like appreciated how like much attention you give to like the vibrance of the setting. Cause even like the pictures with Steven Sanchez, which were like the setting was dark. Like there was not a lot in the back.
Yeah.
But like even with that, the way that the pink silk shirt pops, and the fact that you can acknowledge that it is a pink silk like a setting, that's really easy to wash away. But it's just like you captured that really well. I love the one with the drummer in the background. How like they're like out of like the lights exploding behind. I just thought.
Thank you so much.
Big fan. I really enjoy your work. And what I appreciate too is that even though you can tell it's you, like by composition, every shoot had its own energy, its own feel. Like it really felt like the moment was coming out of the pictures a lot, which I really enjoyed.
Thank you. Yeah, I love hearing that. I don't know why, but sometimes I feel like with concert photography specifically, a lot of photographers stray away from the color, but the lights that happen when you're there, right? Whatever the light production is, I think is such an integral part of the show. And there's always this joke that I hear, like photographers, you know, when need to stop, you know, using that saturation scale, which I used to overdo it a lot. I don't so much anymore, but I do love big, bold, vivid colors. And I really like utilizing the light that the light designers, you know, put on for the show. I think that is like a really important part of capturing the energy of the show. And I just love color. I don't know. I do like black and white stuff, but color, man.
Yeah. Well, especially
so fun.
Especially now, like, you know, cameras do have such a good ability to like capture those things.
Yeah.
And Canon in particular does color well. So I think that, you know, it really just it's a good complementary thing to have, but like just the way that you capture things and the way that you like recreate them afterwards, I think is a really, really cool experience.
Thank you.
I did notice a lot of your shots were done at Edgefield.
Yeah.
I just industry question time again. Yeah. When it comes to shooting places like that, is it usually like you reach out to the artist and they have you there, or is it like something you have through the venue?
Yeah, through the venue.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm pretty fortunate. My 9 to 5, I work for these venues. So as long as I get photo approval from the artists, I can shoot at these venues, and I give the photos to the for the archive, for their archives, and use them on their social media as well. So yeah, I kind of had my foot in the door that way.
Gotcha.
It's a lot harder if I want to shoot a show, out of a venue that's not a McMinimans venue. Because then I just, I'm reaching out as a freelancer, and I'm not tied to any publication or anything, not yet. That would be cool. But, and it's just easier to get a photo pass if you're with some sort of publication, whether it be print or online or whatever. But it's happened. Like I shot Racoma. They're based out of Seattle, but they played at Swan Dive. Reached out to them. They were more than willing to give me a photo pass. And, Portland local bands are always super into you coming out with your camera.
Yeah.
So it's just like the touring acts. I find it harder to get photo passes for.
That makes sense because they're like they either probably have somebody going with them, or they're like, hey, we just don't have time to like figure out if you're going to be our style. Or I get that.
Yep.
I get that.
Yeah.
Now, have you reached out to like touring companies?
I haven't. No.
Because that's something that's been suggested to me here. Like for like other people I've had on the show, they're like, oh, if you reach out to them, then they can just offer it to their artists. That's through the area. So it can't hurt to reach out to the people who are doing it and just be like, look, I got cool pictures.
Yeah.
I have availability. I've got all these ins at these venues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let me know if that works out. We'll bring it back.
I will. Yeah. Will do. Stay tuned.
Now I kind of want to zoom out. I want to look at more kind of just the art, the craft as a whole. I guess, you've already kind of talked about film. So if that's the answer to this question, it's fine. But what are some things you're learning about right now that maybe in addition to the film stuff, like that you're using with your like primary camera in photography at the moment?
Yeah, I'm trying to get more into artificial lighting. I've always worked for portraits and other things, weddings even. It's been very much natural lighting.
Yeah.
And I love natural lighting, but I am really wanting to get into more creative style of shoots. And I've seen a lot of other artists use just really cool lighting. And that's just, I want to learn. Again, I'm self-taught. So I'm going to have to watch some YouTube tutorials.
Believe me, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have some friends that I think I'm going to get creative with, some local musicians, and that's kind of where I'm going to start and just mess around and see what we get. At the end of the day, the worst thing that can happen is I just get some mediocrely cool photos.
Well, that, you're still going to take away the like what to do different next time of it all.
Exactly.
I remember the first time I like did something like, because I've never been a creative lighting guy.
Yeah.
I'm just working like this is the most I've ever done ever.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was doing the first music episode, like the first live music performance, I brought a friend of mine who is one of the main lighting techs at the Crystal. And so they brought some of their lights with them, and they just like did this, like they were like, we're gonna put a red one here and a blue one here, and it's gonna look like this. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I looked at the camera, I was like,
see, that's what I want to learn.
Yeah.
I want to be better with all of that, where to put the lights and what colors and just different effects.
Yeah. That world is so outside. And now I'm like, when I go to the showcase, I'm like, can we just make the lights white?
Right.
Is that allowed? Like, is anybody getting mad at that?
Yeah.
Apparently they do.
They do.
Not a fan.
Makes sense.
But I get it.
Just make it interesting.
Yeah. Now, for this next one, this is just from what you've learned over time. But what is something you wish you could go and tell yourself when you were like a year in? So not in the beginning, not like but like once you kind of gotten your feet into it, but you were still very malleable, very like willing and understanding. What's something you wish you knew kind of at that time that would have helped you now?
There's so much. And I think about this all the time because there's so much I wish I could go back and tell myself. And most of it is just don't be afraid to fail. Like, I know that is so cliche, but like at the end of the day, like you have to do it and you have to do it poorly, and you have to do it poorly again and again until you learn how to do it well.
Yeah.
And maybe just to not be afraid to do it, like just to go out and shoot everything and anything. I think I wasted a lot of time just from like waiting around for like a good opportunity instead of just going out and seeking an opportunity. Because the more like now I will just go out and I find these opportunities. So I think a part of that, like I've said, has to do with like confidence though. Mm-hmm. And you just have to build that. But the more you do it, the more you're going to build the confidence to do it.
Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah.
Now, before we move into this next question is probably the densest question in the interview. But, we've talked about, your experiences, the actions, the reactions. But when it's just you and photography one-on-one, what does it give back to you?
I feel like it's just a creative outlet. I think this is so funny. It's like a common theme, just confidence. Like, I think I have questioned myself so much in the past and going through just imposter syndrome and, only having the means to use what I have. Like, I don't have the means to go and buy the newest, best equipment or to even just like upgrade things. Like, even upgrading the camera that I have, I've been wanting to upgrade for years and like I'm still like hesitant to make the jump, So where did your question was?
What does it give back?
Yeah. I think just beating that imposter syndrome, that's super important. I still get it because I'm in a geographical location where there is a lot of really talented artists.
There's a lot of really talented everything here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so it's hard not to compare yourself, but at the end of the day, like I like what I am putting out there. And I might not be the best yet, but I'm nicer to myself now, I think, because of how photography has taken me through this journey of just learning, failing, and building myself back up and giving myself that confidence and my confidence in my work, but also my confidence in myself to be okay with failing when it happens. And every time that I do, I'm quicker to get back up because I know like I've failed before, but like look where I am now.
Yeah.
So maybe, imagine where I'll be in a year if I keep failing.
You keep failing and you're going to keep moving up.
Yeah.
No, I love
fail
that.
Upwards.
I love that. I appreciate, because yes, there is definitely that recurring theme of confidence, but I feel like you gain not like self-worth. Like obviously, you can respect yourself and feel your own ways in your own sense without it. But the joy of accomplishment you seem to get from it is really cool, because it is like visual art is such a giving art, especially still like photography versus videography, because you have to capture literally the blink of an eye instant.
Yeah.
And so to be able to give to that fully and be able to give it back to people in that same sense, like that has to come from a level of care that is a little bit further on than just like, I just like to do it.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I appreciate you sharing that. I will say one thing I have learned to combat the whole, there are people who are way more at it than me here, because I am really getting into it late compared to everybody else.
Same, that's how I feel.
But what I've learned is that there are so many creative people here. I just know I can ask questions. That's my favorite part, is now instead of having to Google 1,000 things, I know a couple people I can ask things, and I do it polite. I'm always like, hey, if you have a moment, I'd just love to know a little bit more about this.
Yeah.
But I can ask people now, but also it's cool to see, because now I know these people, so I don't feel weird scrolling back on the Instagram and seeing what they were using before, how they composed originally. So we're in this really documented age at the moment. So it is kind of nice to have so many people here that are doing it, just because there's a good example of a lot of different attempts already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm in a really good location. A lot of the photographers that I know that are based in Portland or just in the area in general are so welcoming.
Oh, very much.
And like, you know, supportive. There are a lot of, I am really connected to a lot of great women photographers, and it's just so nice also being in such a male dominated industry and getting to see so many like women that are just like killing it, you know?
Very much
so. It feels good to have that community and to be able to go to them specifically too. Because, you know, we all evolve, and it's nice to like bring people up as you are on your way up and vice versa too.
Yeah, very much so. Have you ever thought about getting into like automotive photography at all?
No.
So there is a drift track in, I think, Ridgefield that you can like request press passes for and go and hang out there all day. And they do have very specific days where it's just all lady drifting.
Cool.
Yeah,
man.
So that is definitely worth checking out. And also it's outside, so more natural light.
Yes.
But, like there is something really cool about the like, it's got this like edginess in each shot that you have to catch, because like each time they enter a turn, it's going to be different.
Right.
You never know when like someone's going to bump into each other. Like it's really like you're capturing high stakes moments, but in a controlled setting. It's a lot of fun. I'm
gonna have to look into that. I have a lot of friends that are into cars and race cars, Formula One, and we have PIR in Portland too. And I have even some of my family has like race cars. So that would be really cool. I might look into that.
It's a fun one for sure.
Neat.
All right, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to get on into some hypothetical questions.
Bring it on.
Yeah, and for these, sky's the limits. The questions are all made up, so the answers are allowed to be as well. But this first one is pretty straightforward. If you could work with any one person, the only requirement is they have to be alive.
They have to be alive?
Yep. Who would you want to work with, and how would you want to work with them?
This is really difficult.
Steven Spielberg.
No,
I'm sure he's easy to work with now.
This is so hard. There are so many people, and I feel like a lot of my answers would probably come from the music industry. But one thing about me is I'm not a huge like celebrity person. I like don't really consume like anything that has to do with celebrities outside of like Pedro Pascal. Oh yeah, I just kind of like don't pay attention to. That sounds really pretentious. That's not what I.
You're all good. Well, I mean, like
it could, I want it to sound.
It could even be like if there was a band coming through, like an artist, or like, you know, just like a certain setting where like if you could get somebody in a room and do like, you know, normal professional what have yous. Yeah.
And the band that's like on the top of my head right now, because I just shot them at Edgefield, is Peach Pit.
Oh, hell yeah.
They are like,
that's cool.
My favorite band of, I mean, man, I don't know. Yeah, just like right now, I guess, but they have been my favorite band for a few years now. And it was a dream to shoot them, one, and they just seem like really cool people, and I would love to do something with them. You know, they seem like goofballs, and that's like really awesome. I love that. So I would get excited for that for sure, just to like work with your favorite band. How cool.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Hell yeah. And then is there anybody local that you're aware of that you haven't gotten to connect with yet, but you would like to?
Glitter Fox.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I know they're from Portland, and I actually like saw them when I lived in Austin. Like, and then I was like, oh, they're from Portland. So I think it would be really cool just to do something with them. But there's so many local bands. There are so many in Portland.
Hundreds of them have been on this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, I think any of them. And that's what I'm trying to do more of, because I love shooting touring acts that come through. But realistically, am I ever going to connect with them or see them? Like, you know, probably not. Right. So I would love to do more for the Portland community, the Portland music community. So if you know anyone who's looking, just invite me to a show. I'll bring my camera and I'll bring my film camera. We'll see what we can get, anyone, anything. I have some friends and bands here and I do go out to their shows often, but I want to do more.
Yeah, no, I fully understand that. Now, this next one, like I said before, sky's the limits, and it's pretty literal in this sense. But if you could do a shoot anywhere in the world, and you wouldn't have to worry about like access or stability or power, it was guaranteed to work. Everything you would need or want for this space would be totally accessible. Where would you want to do a shoot?
Venue or just area?
It could be anywhere.
New York City.
Okay.
I want to go to New York City. I've never been.
Oh.
It is an amazing concept.
Mm-hmm.
Just the energy. We talk about energy a lot, and like everyone talks about the energy of New York City, and I just feel like
there's really nothing else like it.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Exactly.
It is crazy to be in the just the mire of people.
Yeah.
And like the buildings have been there for so long that like the sounds that are there, the smells, like it's one of the few places where like when you watch it in the movies and on TV, it's actually not as far off as some other places.
Yeah.
But only in the sense of like, it's not like the whimsical, magical place of like Friends and what have you, but like there really isn't. So there's not anywhere else like it.
Yeah. And that's why I want to go there. I would love to experience the music scene there because a lot of good artists come from that area. And, even artists that I listen to now, that would just be so cool to really just like immerse yourself in that energy, on the streets, venues. I would love to see what that's like.
Do yourself a favor though. If you go, don't go to the top of the Statue of Liberty.
That's not on my list, actually.
Don't do it.
Why?
So you think it's going to be cool. And like the trip is almost better than the destination.
Yeah.
Because like when you're walking through, you're like, wow, modern marvel of man. And about halfway up, you're like, it's a lot of steps. A lot of steps. And then when you get to the top, you're in this tiny little room.
Oh.
And the windows that you can see out are all crusted over from the seawater and all like scratched up from the inside. and you're in there for maybe 30 seconds.
Boo.
And then you get the added bonus of walking down the same steps. And there's an elevator at the base, and that's it.
Really?
Gets you to the top of the base. Rest of it, you're on foot from start to finish.
How tall is the Statue of Liberty?
Taller than me. I know I could not give you a number, but I did it.
Seems like a lot of stairs.
I did it so others don't have to.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Thank you. That probably wouldn't have even been on my New York list.
Well, you can make sure it never lands on
Thank
there.
God.
And everybody watching, you're welcome. All right. Now, before we start wrapping it up, the last question, the hypothetical questions. If you could get one more album from anybody, they could be alive, they could be dead, they could have not put out an album in 100 years, they could have put out an album yesterday. Who would you want an album from?
Probably like Prince.
Okay. And would you want one like that would be in continuation to like when the last album came out, or would you want one from like right now?
Right now. Yeah, like right now. I want some like really cool collabs. Legend.
Yeah,
legend.
Very much so. Very much
sick.
Oh yeah. All right. With that being said, we are going to go ahead and start wrapping this up.
Cool.
What can we look forward to? What do you got coming up in the next like 6 months?
Yeah. So this summer is really busy. This is the busiest time for me. Tosh Sultana is coming to Edgefield the 27th of June. I will be shooting that one. My July is a little quiet, but I'm planning on doing some creative shoots, some like promo material. So stay tuned for that. And then come August, Glass Animals and Lucy Dacus. And there was one more and I can't remember, but all of that stuff should be good. Busy summer.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, very excited.
Well, definitely looking forward to all of that. For this next one, go and look straight at your camera. Tell everybody how they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at johanna.pdx, or you can find me at my website, which is johannamcdonaldphoto.com.
Oh, yeah. And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you want to put on while you're on here?
Shout out to my dog Dolly at home. She's waiting for me.
Oh, gotcha.
Retired racing greyhound. Super cute. Yeah.
Whoa, okay. Real lean, mean gray machine.
Oh, yeah.
All right. That being said, then I've got one last question to go.
Okay.
Before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second. As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation.
Okay.
But in all of music, what is an album you feel is more on the obscure side? So it's a bit of a deep cut.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people would know. Because when do you think everybody should know?
I don't know the album, but Sticks.
Oh, okay.
That my first concert, my dad used to play that all the time when we were driving in his truck. And I still have like vivid memories. So go listen to some Sticks, man.
That's a super solid rec. I support that for sure. All right. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you for having me. This was so fun.
Yeah. This has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Johanna.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
Bye.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.